Welcome to the CMO Dialogues. I'm Brandon Gerena, the host of the podcast. I also lead the consulting organization within LTI Mindtree. Today, I'm thrilled to be joined by Brett Hannath, the Chief Marketing Officer of Intel, a brand that I am totally passionate about. I have been since I've been a kid, by the fun, the creativity, and the innovation of this brand. So without further ado, thank you for joining us today.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. The pleasure is all mine. And I appreciate the warmth towards the brand because I definitely feel the same.
You've been with Intel now for just about a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we met about a year ago.
Yeah, we did.
And you were just getting into this role. You were just starting to really wrap your arms around what was happening.
Was I a bit green? I was probably a little bit green.
Yeah, green because you were worried. You're like, I have to do more with less.
Yeah.
I think there was this reckoning of what needs to be done with marketing. What would you say about your journey so far in the past year and a half, almost 2 years that you've been here?
There's a lot to unpack because it's certainly been a journey.
Mm-hmm.
And you quite rightly said there was a lot of internal journey, i.e. my journey within the company. But at the same time, there's the journey of the company in the marketplace. So you sort of got this duality that we've been trying to manage through, where Intel as a company making bold decisions and investments as to where silicon needs to go to support the world of tomorrow. And at the same time, marketing playing that role of exciting and educating and bringing people to the Intel brand and the Intel set of products to go do amazing new things. And, you know, I came from a private equity world. Like my last 15 years was in private equity world, rule of 40 and EBITDA and driving profitable growth. I've been very attuned to that type of environment. And it isn't necessarily the environment in which an Intel culture exists around. Yeah. But when you have, like I said, large investments required to be modern on a silicon process, that starts to have an effect on your ability to sustain those types of things. And so, the company came to marketing and said, we'd like you to reduce number of people or number of programs. And you have to start making those really tough choices. For me, like the first 18 months was really a journey of understanding what Intel's current role, current sets of executions, what is Intel's future role in that same market? And how do we, in this cost-constrained environment, deliver exactly what we're looking for?
This is the B2B space you're no stranger to.
Mm-hmm.
High tech, you're no stranger to. I mean, you've spent some time at McAfee and Trellix. But I would believe the way you and I have talked about this, Intel is at a whole different level.
Yep.
So was there one or two big surprises that you encountered that said, this is a little different than where I've been?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think the first surprise was actually getting the job offer, right? Because it is. I mean, to leap into a brand that I grew up with, like you did.
Yeah.
But I also worked for. So 2000 through 2006, when Intel released a Wi-Fi notebook design for the first time, or got Xeon for the first time in the data center, I was there when Intel was really at its zenith of being an industry leader of form factor, compute style. And I think the real surprise when I came back in was the swagger was gone because of the environment in which the company had been going through this 5 nodes in 4 years, or right, which is the delivery of a new advancement in silicon process every single year, when a normal industry cadence for that is 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And so you've got this organization that has been driving so hard to get to leadership over TSMC, leadership over our traditional competitors, and AMD, for example.
Yeah. And
the struggle was real. And so you walk into an environment where competitive has never been higher.
Mm-hmm.
And you have those day-to-day, cut your budget here, make these people adjustments there.
Right.
Every marketing leader knows what good looks like because you have the benchmarks.
Yeah.
Right? You know, Apple is a great product brand company. All right? You know what a good conversion rate across a demand funnel for B2B is. You know what percentage of your marketing budget should be invested to keep ambassadors or retail, representatives of your brand in store. So you've got a map of what good looks like. Intel is not a single product to a single audience company, like you said. How do you balance your investments, not to cede, market share to your competitor.
Right.
But also stand up as a new and vibrant competitor in new growth areas, as opposed to places where we felt comfortable and actively played for decades.
Oh, that's interesting. So I think that coincides nicely with your new mission of Intel ignites the greatness within.
Mm-hmm.
That is a bit of your swagger returning, if I may, opine. But you have three distinct audiences that we've talked about over time. So you have this enterprise technology, you have your partners in OEM.
Yep.
So we recently spoke to one of your clients, the head of e-commerce over at Lenovo.
Uh-huh.
But also there's the developer community.
Yes.
Which is key and the lifeblood of what you do. So there must be some non-negotiables that you could put a finger on across these. Yet there's these dimensions of maybe a customization or personalization that's required because they're so distinct and so different.
Mm-hmm.
Have you boiled it down to some fundamentals that help you navigate that?
Brilliant question, by the way. You're making me think. I think the common thread that I really instill, not only for my own approach, but also what I charter the team to prioritize, is lean into these partnerships. I think as a marketer, we're very good at defining a persona and defining a message type or an approach that will match that persona.
Yeah.
But if you think about Intel's success in the past and where we really shone, it's when you bring an ecosystem along with you. What I am here to do with my team is how do I make your marketing message more compelling because of the value that our technology brings to your amazing set of devices, right? Compared to our competition. Yeah. When we talk about we lost our swagger, is that we buttoned up some practices so well, like the Intel Inside, right? Marketers love Intel Inside.
Yes.
But it's a decade-old approach of ingredient branding with an ecosystem. And we had tightened that program so much that the majority of people effort was actually to check whether a logo was in the right place on the ad.
Wow.
As opposed to an Intel and a Lenovo marketer agreeing very early on, what are we trying to do together in market? That is marketing with an ecosystem, as opposed to here is an approach to market and we will fund this and we will audit you and make you compliant to those restrictions. Yeah.
Wow.
And that's a big change, right? To go into a partner, I call it shift left. Right. So rather than us just checking for compliance against a set of rules in a rule book, let's shift left to campaign or program design and agree in principle what we're trying to achieve as a set of businesses, and we will fund to those outcomes. So that's one. And the second one we brought up which is really interesting, which is developer. And that one's always been close to my heart because for the first, 10 years of my career, I was a developer. Admittedly, it was on IBM ATs, and it was one PC between three people. But they talk a different language. They're incredibly passionate about their tools of the trade. The developer audience is almost like a gamer audience, and they're incredibly, like I said, passionate about their tools. And if you don't lean into the passion, and I think Intel, again, lost its way with the developer community. One, because they it was no longer a priority. And so, big events we used to host called the Intel Developer Forum, we just decided let's not do them. And you lost that instant connection of where you bring the newness of the world to a developer and they can get passionate about it. And you can't lose something like that construct and not expect a disconnect. Sometimes it's actually just good to invest in a community to keep them entertained, to keep them productive, to keep them excited, without the need to demonstrate from that set of investments, here is the return I got from it.
What pressure do you feel to still show some sort of result?
Oh, huge.
There's some long tail to that, I believe, that you probably have to work towards.
Very much so. And I really think, and this comes to this really complex balance of B2B, B2C, developer community, PR, all of that type of stuff. And this is an Intel thing, right? We're an embedded component. And so for me, it's always been a joy for Intel to be leading a developer community, and we took that away. And I just sort of feel like there's something that we should be doing, could be doing, will be doing. I'll stress that we will be doing it. But to reinsert with, hey, here's a couple of libraries and you should download it because it's cool, is not the way to go.
Yeah.
You have to do it in a really authentic, lose the ego way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like what you're saying. And now, one topic that, yes, we are going to touch on is AI, because I think that's really where your competition is thinking around product.
Yep.
It's where your peers in marketing are thinking a lot about. Yet if you pick up any of the rags of our industry, they say that AI is killing marketing jobs. Okay?
Yeah.
I might be a little bit more diplomatic in the way I might phrase that. I say, well, it's displacing some skill sets. But that's a headline that you can find in the press today. So what are you doing in response to that? First of all, how strongly do you feel about that? And then what are you doing to ensure that the marketing skills are not obsolete? How are you mitigating the risks against this?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's it's a great question. And I think all of us as technologists, consumers, marketers in a very crowded space, the AI thing is difficult to comprehend.
Yeah.
Outside of the basics. I think all of us can describe large language models and, all that type of stuff. But I find, and this is from a marketing perspective, marketing made the layer of abstraction of the value of AI so high that, quite frankly, we've educated a market to expect more than we're getting at the moment. Right? AI will do this. AI will save this. AI will create this. And yet the successes of the tech, which is still very nascent, are not there yet. Although I say on the fringes, there are incredible applications of the tech that just astound me, right? You can help blind people walk around a room through audio being processed with a camera being held by them. There's definitely applications of it, but to me, there's still incubations as opposed to mainstream application of things. And I find with the AI dialogue, they, like you said, I mean, they go, oh, marketing is just ripe for this.
Yeah.
Yet show me a packaged application out of a couple, but that really has cemented its place in marketing as something that you bring in and get instant value from. It's just not proven. For me, A, you need to understand it. B, you need to know the players that can bring value to you.
Yeah.
And that starts to hint towards that replaces jobs, doesn't it? I said, well, you can think of it that way, but if I look at how long we as a team take to produce content, it will accelerate its delivery.
Right.
So it's not a people reduction, it's a time to market advantage, right?
There must be new skills then. So when you're out in the market looking to ramp up your team, your in-house team, there's these new aspects of AI that now have to be evident.
Yeah, there definitely are. Some of the ones, like I said, like in Gen AI content production, give me the first draft of a solution brief. Here is all the raw materials from the business unit in a PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Put it into words for me. That to me is real value. So look at it. For me, incredibly valuable. If we produce an ad for the holiday season for a retail sector, we have to take that creative and then create 150 versions of it for each and every retailer we sell through. Now, that would have been people effort before. And now we've been working or investigating with a vendor. They can take that 7-week process, tens of people, down to a couple of days. That is a people effect.
Yeah.
But time to market. And I think with the writing, it's not reducing the amount of people you need. It's your ability to deliver things on time, just in time. And I think most leaders know this. You're trying to move a marketing department to be just in time, personalized content engine. People won't scale to that model.
Right.
And so your writers need to start to think about a journey that I can take a segment at a micro level. How do I use AI to enable that workflow to happen in a just-in-time way? So I sort of feel same levels of people, but doing different things with these pretty amazing tools.
I love that. So part of what you're describing, I would put in the bucket of content supply chain.
Yeah, totally.
Now, we both came from a background in marketing where that meant managing a Kanban board and then going back further to a whiteboard where we're moving boxes, okay?
Yeah.
And Post-its.
Yeah.
So we've come light years ahead. Are you finding that it's becoming increasingly difficult as you rely on external partners and how they're interfacing with your internal teams? And then how do you manage, this is something that there's no way I'm going to take in-house. It just doesn't make sense on the following dimensions.
Yeah. I mean, we obviously made a conscious decision at the end of last year, but finally signed a contract earlier this year that we were going to, as Intel, move a lot of our execution to an external agency or managed service. And so the answer to the question becomes through the lens of that very bold decision. So my team is fairly small and they're strategists. We decide as the strategy team, here are the segments we will play. Here are the audiences that we will reach. These are the budgets that we will apply. And then we rely on the service to help us execute against those things. Yeah. Now, part of that arrangement that we have is the expectation on the service that they tune their operating models. They are using the AI tools to meet our expectations of our understanding of what those tools can do. Yes, we will get into a strategy meeting and design a journey, but then we pass it to them to go fulfill,
to execute.
Yeah.
I like the way we're talking about a factory mindset. And the factory is getting rethought. You have to think about what a one Intel means in this new world. We're also talking about this dynamic between an AI first or an AI native. And I don't know if you have a point of view on where you fit in that paradigm. And I'm curious, how do you define that? And what are the steps that you're taking besides some of the components we've talked about so far? We're looking a little bit more ahead now. So where are you going to prepare for this future?
You know, unpacking this onion of an AI promise.
Yeah.
But really honing in on where, in a quick win way, deliver real value, whether it's a transformational outcome you're trying to achieve, a better marketing outcome, a better cost outcome, all of those types of things. I'm a firm believer that you should look at where all your constraints to achieving your vision are, and then determine whether an AI application will improve, or remove a bottleneck. And I'll give a couple of examples. So we talked about content journey and generation, all that type of stuff. And I hinted to another one, which is this promise of real-time personalization of content based on signals being captured. And I think we've all dreamt of that beautiful world of anonymous individual comes to your website, reverse IP, it's in this domain. They're in the financial services industry, serve that page. And Demandbase has been doing this for a while. But take that signal, we've now segmented them as financial services, profile them, create a custom piece of real-time content, taking the best of all the latest research, all of the latest things happening to their industry and their country, etc., produce a brief, send it to them, right? Which is very different to the basics that we've been able to do in, marketing automation platforms. But this whole Gen AI integration into an automated, personalized workflow, I think is incredibly exciting.
Yeah.
But it's not a native feature in packaged applications yet.
Yeah.
If you want to be a first mover in bringing that type of new experience to life.
Yeah.
What engineering resources do you need?
Right.
And you mentioned Lenovo before, and I hope they don't mind me mentioning this, but they have this beautiful portal where I go in there and say, I would like a laptop solution brief tailored for the health industry in Japanese, please. Out of pops. It highlighted to me, they're an amazing marketing team,
wow,
but they're also an amazing engineering team because they developed the portal. They had the data warehouse of all content they've ever produced, all product specs with their 3 key values for each industry. It was all there, right?
And it felt like magic in some ways.
Totally.
Yeah.
But they had this engineering layer on top to bringing this beautiful collection and construct of data to life through a Gen A prompt. And I think this is the thing that we've all got to realize is that if I want to be a leader in the application of this, you need data scientists, you need engineers, and you need the commitment to create data structures that form a single point of truth of position. Because that's the thing about Gen AI, it doesn't create, right? And I mean that from the purest creator point of view. It's derivative, right? It learns, right? And it produces. And so if it doesn't have the right content to learn and have a point of view that you would feel comfortable and proud to publish, then it ain't going to be of value to you.
Yeah, that's an incredible lesson too. We've always used that term garbage in, garbage out.
Totally.
So now it's
CRM, anyone?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on us to get this right. If you build that foundation today, you're going to be much better set up for tomorrow.
Totally. And I've got one more for you. But
Please.
and again, this is just the range of things that we can do. The list is endless, but choose the right few. Invest the time in, get the value. Invest the time in, get the value. But I think the other one that we're looking at is if you have a look at the very heavy and I mentioned it, when we look at our partners and they want to get paid for placing an ad using the rule book with an Intel logo, they submit a claim, we audit the claim, we pay. Yeah. So it's a very simple, it's like an insurance claim. But when you're doing that for tens of thousands of claims, you can imagine the amount of people costs, not only on our side, but more importantly for them. That is where agentic workflows could come in, right? Where an AI agent is inspecting the proof of performance and comes back with an answer in seconds, as opposed to waiting for an email to be checked in an inbox for a rep to go open the tool to go check. Yeah. And so I sort of feel there's this huge opportunity. Again, choose where the bottleneck is, identify this is a good use case. And I use insurance deliberately as an analogy because that is an industry that I've seen is starting to use AI agents.
That's right.
To do those things. So I think, when it comes to AI, look what other industries are doing, other analogies in your own business, start to investigate what that would look like for you and, deliver a better business for both you and your partner in this instance.
Oh, I love that. Mm. I think the agents are going to be taking over, so we should be kind to them now.
You sound like somebody on a Terminator.
I'm
taking over.
I'm handing over all of my personal identifiable information to
we
get a better
experience. We already
have. Yeah, I was getting texts from somebody asking for all my information.
Oh,
yes,
I'm actually not liking the very personalized emails that you get. They look real these days.
Yeah.
Versus Sultan of Brunei wants $10 sort of thing. Yeah.
But so this also goes, what's real? I'm working with a few brands right now that are saying, should we even have a website?
Oh,
because there's zero-click search that's become a real hot topic. You have answer engine optimization. Forget about search engine optimization because nobody has patience to scroll through all of the blue links. I don't. Instead, give me the answer that I think is going to be important for us to really reinvent some of our processes, reinvent the way we author content. And I'm curious, do you have a vision for Intel? What is the best chip that I can possibly have to power my systems? The Intel becomes the answer.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there, right? I'll start with should I even invest in a website? My answer is, for now, yes, because that website trained the model that people are asking questions of.
Right.
In this world where they were trained, where that free information was coming to them to be able to provide an answer. And we're going to remember Gemini is connected to Google. So if it doesn't know the answer from having been trained, it goes out and searches on your behalf.
That's right.
Right. So it's a brave new world, definitely. But there's a lot of businesses pushing back on no one's coming to my site anymore, Google. And who knows, I might be able to not have that at the top of their web browser for much longer as the default for your question. So I think, look, stay the course on good SEO, but start to introduce content on the website that answers the questions, right? So if you know that they're going to type into a prompt, what is the best laptop for me? I'm a creator. Create the web page that gives the answer, because we don't do it at the moment. And we're asking them to make their own opinion, right? Or form their own opinion.
It's a great use case for human content creators. What a great
there
use
you go,
case.
Right? But but this is how we tricked SEO. Like, what are the keywords? What are the words people are looking for? No, it's what are the questions that people are wanting answers for? And if you start to inject your site in a answering questions way, then you're sort of aligning to what people are even using these tools for.
What is going to be specific about B2B? Because this is different than a consumer-facing brand. But yet I still may have curiosity about what's inside my machine, right? And I still may have an opinion.
I'll put this out there, and it's not any denigration to existing team, new team, but the Intel.com site really isn't serving the purpose that we need it to or want it to, right?
I see.
And so we actually just executed a project of a good 6 months. Like, what is the purpose of this thing? And be grounded. And it really is a reflection of the complexity of the Intel business itself. You know, we're the ingredient brand. We serve business and consumer, and we've got products that are all over the spectrum from cloud right to the edge, right? And every one of those turns of that Rubrik's cube is an audience or segment. And sometimes I would love the luxury. I'm a SaaS provider with one product because they can design the beautiful web experience. We don't have that luxury. So how do you craft a web experience that you're very centered on? It's a B2B customer in the data center who is really interested in security or really interested in application management or really interested in cost-effective clients for the various types of workers that they have, and structure the information where people can wayfind easily and get the answers that they're looking for, right? So that's one. It's the source of the most compelling, concise representation of your product for the primary segments you serve, right? Number one.
Yeah.
The issue that we have is that, like I said, it's not only the consumption audiences, in other words, the person going out and buying the laptop for their kid, or the IT manager. It's also the partners that we service. So it's a service platform. So let's say I am a IoT provider in the medical industry and I'm making robots. And I want to know, does Intel have a software stack and a recommended architecture for me to deploy that in a power effective way so the batteries don't die in the ward?
Yeah.
And so we know that we have to service a partner community. We have to service a developer community, and developers process information in tree structures, not web links, right? So that's why when you go to, and I've done this recently, but if you go to like a Hugging Face or a GitHub, it's a foreign environment because it's tailored for a developer. And I'm just going, I don't even know what I'm looking for here. They do, right?
Yeah.
And I go, why don't we present our developer interface like that? Because that's gold class. Yeah. And so we've done all that research and we're coming up with a new Intel.com experience.
Great.
Yeah.
That's great.
So, which, comes back to your original question, should you even keep one? Yes, we're going to keep one, and we're completely reinventing it with the audiences very much in mind.
I love that. Because you're going to where they are hanging out.
Yeah. And the way they consume. And I think, good web design, we've all shifted to a world of scroll. Let the Intel web is all about click. And I think sometimes we've over-rotated to the creative beauty where there's 2 words on the page and a stunning picture. And as a technologist, I'm starved.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where do I get the detail? This is where I sort of feel we really need to go back to the drawing board of the primary audience. If it's a techie audience, you need to explain.
Yeah.
If it's a consumer audience, you need to make it simple. And don't over-rotate on a visual identity or a creative side because it looks good. Because you may be using best-in-class design technique.
Right.
Because you loved that site, but it was serving a different purpose, different audience to the one that you do.
Yeah. So it sounds like what you're doing here is going outside of even what the traditional chief marketing officer would do. So, and I've been seeing these lines blurred for years where you're treading in waters that the data team or the technology teams have been playing in. And what do you feel the environment is here? How are you adapting to some of that overlap? Do you create some guardrails? What's working for you today?
I think, one, we've got a very talented, dedicated IT team, and we work incredibly closely with them. We're never here to say we can do it better, we'll go do it ourselves.
Okay.
All right. So we always, when we're trying to make a technology decision for the company, because that's the other thing too. Sometimes marketers I need that. But in a large company like Intel, you can imagine the IT bill starts to creep up incredibly fast.
Yeah.
If every department is allowed to acquire tech. And not only that, and all of us are technologists in some way, the complexity of the future that you're creating with a disparate and disconnected IT approach can lead a company to where a lot of us are facing, right?
Yep.
All my data is in different sources, right? None of it is connected. If I want a holistic a view of the customer experience, all of the problems we've introduced because departments were IT independent, we're now having to address.
Yeah.
I think you really need to work with IT, and we've got a great IT team. However, they, like any other IT team, cost constrained,
Sure.
people constrained. And so you're right that IT would normally deliver some services to you. But what I do is inject dollars into that team to be able to deliver to me the business outcome. It's not marketing owning it. It's marketing funding it.
Yeah. It's that partnership.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And what I love about Intel is that you can bring that with the business justification. They do the review of the tech. It looks solid.
That's great.
It's not there isn't a competing app over that side of the house that you're going to be duplicating a capability. Right. It's worked quite well for me.
That's profound. I could say that I don't get to see that sort of collaboration happen everywhere.
Oh, really?
So that's a fantastic.
I'm lucky. I take that as a win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's do this. We're approaching the end, and you've shared a lot of wisdom with us, but I want to have a little bit of fun with a little lightning round.
Okay.
And we're not going to talk too much work here in this last round because I want to get a little better sense of what makes Brett tick.
Oh my goodness.
So we can get to know about you. So are you ready for an exercise?
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
All right, I'm going to give you one word at a time.
Okay. None of it's about sports.
No. And I'd like you to give me just one word or whatever you feel.
Oh my God, one word?
In the moment.
You've seen I use multiple words.
In the moment.
I'll try.
Do your best.
Okay.
First word, origin.
Australia.
Purpose.
Solve.
Balance.
Energy.
Fun.
TV.
Book.
Oh, that's a hard one. I'll come back to that one.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Color.
Blue.
Food.
Italian.
Joy.
My dog, Winston, is a mini schnauzer.
Oh. Passion.
Music.
And lastly, destination.
Italy.
Great. Well, thank you. I think these are all fantastic fun facts we learned about you, Brett. I cannot thank you enough for inviting us here to the House of Intel and for spending time with us. So thank you for your time today.
No, I love the questions.
Well, thank you for your time.
Really appreciate it.
Appreciate you being a part of this.
Thanks
a lot.